All right, we'd like to welcome you to our discussion segment. Ugonna, when we talk about environment, there's this beautiful quote on environment that I love so much. It says, the world in which we live in and work is a mirror of our attitude and expectations. That's coming from a Nightingale.
And when you actually listen to what he has said, you can actually see he went straight to the point and he hit it.
Honestly. And another one says, we won't have a society if we destroy our environment.
And that's true. Because when you look at the environment generally in the world, if it's not friendly, if it's not good, then we have a big problem. We're fighting against something that's destroying us. So the better we take care of our environment, the better we live a good life.
Come to think of it, when we see some areas in the state, buildings scattered here and there, there's one I saw. Somebody that moved away from congested area to build a bungalow for him and the family. And somebody else comes very close to the place and built a 5-story building. You can imagine that. What do you call that?
Human beings, maybe we like this. Will I say you're trying to compete with someone or something? I don't know, but I think it's not nice and not good, So, but we're talking about the environment this morning, and let's hope we really make headways, because a lot of people need to understand they need to start doing things right in order for to create an enabling environment, to make the environment much more a place where we can have a better life.
And I've watched a feature of a man that is 125 years, and there's this question about what actually he can say that sustained him up to 125. You know what he said? Part of what he says is that the environment where you live contributes, a lot on how long you will live. All right, and on that premise, we welcome you to this discussion segment where we are going to look at sustainable environment in Anambra State. In the studio this morning, we have as our guest Mr. Victor Okpoko. Mr. Victor is the General Manager, Anambra State Planning Board.
Yeah,
Victor, you're welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
There's this joy and smile on your face. I want to believe you had a great weekend yesterday.
Yeah, I do. How about you?
Well, it was good. Hope you watched the World Cup final yesterday, because that was a big story.
And this World Cup.
This World Cup thing.
All right, let's
have this team for Croatia because we were in the same group with them,
really?
and they lost. And then
so you were happy that Croatia lost because they were in the same group with Nigeria?
I wasn't happy that they lost. I wanted them to win.
Okay.
All right, let's talk environment now, because that's why we are here this morning. Please, in case you're watching us, we have the people, the authorities concerning an environment in the studio. You can ask any question concerning environment this morning. And now, let's begin by asking this question. When you say an environment is sustaining?
Well, can I just define sustainable development? Yes. Now, sustainable development is a development that ensures the needs of today without preventing future generations from acquiring their needs. You get what I'm trying to say? So for you to have something that is sustainable, is something, because if you keep building houses anyhow, you're not thinking about tomorrow. It cannot be sustainable. That is why we have area, when we do our own planning, we have some areas for sports, recreation, and the rest of them. So sustainable development is a development that ensures the needs of today without preventing future generations.
And how would you assess the environment of Anambra today? What's your assessment?
Well, there's a lot of room for improvement. It's work in progress. That's much I can tell you. Work in progress.
When we talk about creating sustainable environment in Anambra State, does it just have to do with the environment, or does it mean something more? Because when we talk about sustainable environment, does it just have to do with our environment, or is there something more than that?
Environment is all encompassing.
Okay, good.
Now, in our own area, which is a fiscal planning board, this is a board created by His Excellency, Chief our able governor, and our own is that to ensure orderly development of cities and towns in Anambra State. Okay. That is our own. That's our mandate. Okay. And to this extent, we have offices in 21 local governments. Okay. Now, before you build a house, you are supposed to first of all, submit your plan to our office in any of the local governments. We'll take a look at what you want to do. I understand when you were doing the intro, you said somebody did a high-rise building, another person did a bungalow. Like this, we don't allow such things because we have what we call zoning regulations. We zone places where you can build high-rise, where you can build bungalows and the rest of them. Now, so when you bring your plan to our office, and like I said, we have offices in all 21 local governments. You don't have to travel far. Okay. Just bring your plan there. We'll have professionals there. We'll have architects, we'll have town planners, we'll have engineers. Okay. We'll take a look at what you have done.
All right. We have realities on ground in Anambra State, and I would actually want you to look at them. A situation where filling stations are built very close to residential areas, and buildings scattered anyhow in parts of the state. What is your ministry or your office doing, to correct this? Maybe for people that are still planning to build, because I don't know whether we'll start pulling them down, they already want some ground, or what? What do you have to say?
If you are in the news, and I'm sure a couple of weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks back, you may have seen that Anambra State Fiscal Planning Board pulled down 3 filling stations in the residential area. We don't encourage it. So that is why I want to use this opportunity to appeal to our people. If you want to build anything, just like I said earlier, come to our office. We'll advise you on what to do. Now, the point is that, with due respect, there appears to be a lot of impunity in everywhere. Okay. Somebody who could just start building something, and they get, again, we have to follow due process. Like when you start building a filling station where you're not supposed to build it, if you come there, the law says we'll serve you a paper. The first thing is stop work. Okay. If you just go and stop the man without serving stop work, he will take you to court. Okay. Then the next thing they say, you are taking the laws into your hand. So this issue of due process, the first thing we do, you serve stop work order. Stop work order has 48 hours for the man to.
And that's what I wanted to.
That's right, for the man to come and tell you Then after that, you go and give the man removal notice. Okay. Removal notice has 28 days. And let me tell you, my sister, within 28 days, anybody can commit any impunity he wants to do. Okay. Then at the end of the day, by the time you serve the stop work, probably you serve the removal notice, the person will now go to court. And then, and if matter is in court, as far as when matters are in court, like our hands are usually tied. Okay. Because if a matter is in court, and you go to remove, it's impunity. Okay. It's taking the laws into your hands. Okay. We did it some time ago. There was a time we did it at Newi. There was a matter in court, with due respect. We went and removed the thing. They took us to court and gave judgment against Anambra State government to the tune of 300 million. So we're quite scared. So that's why you see some of these things. But we're not scared of... our job is not just removing things. So that's why I don't want to call us people that remove things. But then if you ask you not to do something and you go ahead and do it, we've got to remove it.
You're talking about the filling station where your department or your board has actually pulled down 3 filling stations. Now these filling stations, they were there before, probably now. Why is it now they are pulling it? Is it because the former people who's been there don't know their job or something?
I don't want to blame anyone. All I know is that this present governor is interested in protecting life and property of people of Anambra State. Okay. That is the point. He has the political will. That was why we removed those things. Especially the one at Fege.
You talked about a case being in court and your hands will be tied. What happened to the other party? The builder in question. Is he going to continue the building or what? Explain the scenario to us.
Usually, when they go to court, they will bring one funny injunction, and they will say parties the government of Anambra State and their previous agents have been restrained from further harassment of the developer. And once you're restrained, you are restrained. You do nothing. Then our own lawyers will go there and try to, it's a battle. I'm not saying they will win eventually. The courts are good anyway, because the idea is to make sure we're not taking laws into our hands. Yeah. Because otherwise, if there are no courts, Mr. Okpoko, can now, maybe if I don't like your face, I'll go and pull down your head. That is what the courts want to prevent. That whatever we're doing, I'm not saying the courts are bad, but the courts are trying to make sure that whatever we are doing is right. That we're not going to do anything out of selfish interest. Mm-hmm. But then, A lot of people say the law is an ass. So somebody can now circumvent it and prevent us from doing our work. But eventually, you know why I'm talking about these courts? I'm talking about the ones you said there was a filling station. It has been there all the time, all the time.
Why now?
Because that's the point. So at the end, by the time we exhaust all the legal issues.
So, but most times now, like I said, you snap them papers and come back, give them a letter to move away in 28 days.
Sure.
Now, do these people, at any point in time, does the government pay them a compensation because they've been working, like you're taking away their business, or you're giving them another place, suitable place for them to build?
You said compensation. See, my brother, our own law says you are building a house. I mean, you want to build a filling station, right? You're supposed to apply to us, right?
I want to believe they did apply.
I'm talking about compensation. Okay. By the time, we don't have any budget for removal, demolition, anything. Okay. So it's the matter that we even pay us. By the time we ask you to stop this thing and you continue and then we'll go and remove it, we'll see you to court to recover cost of removal. That's what the law says.
So, but have you guys actually found any, is it a normal thing that most of the time they don't submit approval or proposal to you before building? Because that's it. Because if probably, like I said, why is it now? If those people who has built the filling station probably prior to when they started building submitted, whatever they need to submit to the planning board, and maybe whoever was in charge then give them an okay hand, okay, go ahead and build what you want to build. And now maybe a new government comes and you're trying to tell them not to.
It's not like that. It's not like that. There's no way. The point is that if a government is continuous, if we give approval, we give approval. It doesn't matter the government. But why we are saying that these things has no approval.
Okay, the 3 stations pulled down has no approval.
Sure.
All right. Now,
even the one at Ibuku, even the Ibuku community even went to court against the man.
Okay.
All right.
They didn't join us in court. That was why we now speedily, I think they joined us, we could have had difficulty removing it. So good enough, we were not joined. So we went there and removed it.
Okay, let's now look at the situation where I know we do have residential areas, we have industrial areas, and we have some places where you're not supposed to build more than two-story buildings. We have places where you're supposed to build just bungalows. I don't know. Do we really have such in Anambra? Because there's this area in Onitsha where is Woliwo and Omaba. When you move around such areas and look at buildings, how they are lined in a straight line, you know that these places were actually planned. And I think that's just the places, and GRA and some other places. But most places you see buildings scattered, I don't know what you are doing for new areas that are being developed these days. Because at the back of, what is it called? Army Barracks, that place, some areas there are supposed to be industrial areas, but you see buildings, residential buildings, packed within the areas. What are your office doing, to ensure that we have this planned out? Since you said that this government is actually
has the political will to get
do
things in
what
order.
He's doing.
That's right.
All right, before you answer the question, let's just let you know that the numbers are on your screen. We need you to call. Of course, the general manager or the managing director is here to answer every question you have this morning on how we can sustain our environment here in Anambra State. The numbers are on your screen, so please do well to call us and ask your questions.
Especially if you're planning to build.
Yes.
Submit your plan first.
Do well to call us and tell us. All right, so
go ahead.
Bring your plan first.
And tell us.
Yeah.
The
question she
Yeah,
asked.
you see, we have what we call high-density residential areas. There you can build as much as you want, and we have medium density where we restrict you to 2 levels. Then we have low density where bungalows. Now these things are there, like Donicha you're talking about. But what I'm trying to tell you is, you are asking me what do I do? We have field officers. We have field officers. I keep saying that the problem we have is the society. Now let us talk about Omaba. Now, there's this thing we call like a Tomaba area. You're supposed to build just 2-story and then a penthouse. Now, they bastardize that penthouse. That's why if you go there, you see them doing waves. They'll build and just call it penthouse. You understand? So our problem is the issue of impunity. Our people, we are trying as much as we can. Remember I said earlier, it is work in progress. We have people every day in the field. As I'm talking to you now, our staff are everywhere on the field. That's why we see everybody. But the problem we have is the society. And I wish if they are listening to us, please let them listen to our advice.
Please, I would want you to tell us more.
Yes.
Tell us the challenges you are really facing as regards to, sustaining environment in Anambra State?
Obviously, the challenges we are facing is attitude.
Okay.
Look, I have this book here. Every developer, this one is from Oka Capital Territory Development Authority. This is a building model. Every person that builds a house in Oka will give him this book. We'll talk, and this thing contains everything you want to, give it out. Then this very one is also called Building Regulation, the whole of Anambra. Once you submit your plan and we get it up, we'll give you this. We'll talk to you, we'll tell you what to do, we'll give you this. So it's not as if they don't know.
And this you needed to sit.
I can even give you.
No, you go through before before you embark on your.
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Yes.
Hello.
Good morning to you. Your name and location.
My name is
Obiora, you're welcome.
Obiora, where are you calling us from?
I'm from Obosi.
Obosi, welcome.
All right, Obiora, go ahead.
This is it.
I want to thank the girls in the house. And my question goes like this. When you submit the plan, what is the cost for somebody who wants to build a residential house? What is the cost of your approval? Because there are diverse, your officers in the local government are collecting diverse money. Some will pay 400,000 to ask for that. Some will pay 40,000 or 200, and will pay 100. So what is the amount?
Okay, thank you very much.
You got the message, okay?
Thank you.
You heard him.
Yeah, I heard him. I heard him loud and clear. The amount is not specific to buildings. Do you understand? Because if it's a bungalow, like we have our scale of fees, and I'll advise the gentleman that I heard when he said our officers will collect. We don't collect money. If you just take your plan, whatever plan you have, you take it. We have people that will assess it. At the end of the day, you'll be given the code. You go and pay by yourself. So it is not specific.
It's according
to what you are trying to build, and according to the location where you are building it. We have first-class urban areas. We have second-class urban areas. Obviously, somebody that's doing a bungalow cannot pay. I will not pay the same thing with somebody that's doing a high-rise building. The same thing with factories and the rest of them. So it's not a specific. I can't give a specific answer.
All right. At this point, I'd like to tell you that the program is still Good Morning Anambra discussion segment, looking at sustainable environment in Anambra State. We're going to take a very short break here to bring you some clips of what we are going to talk about here. Don't go anywhere.
As part of efforts aimed at transforming the structural outlook of Anambra State Capital Territory, government has continued removal of shanties and demolition of illegal structures in the Capital Territory. The exercise was jointly supervised by officials of the Okpoko Capital Territory Development Authority, ACTDA, an agency of the state government charged with the mandate of building a world-class capital city in the state, and men of the Nigeria Police Force. The operation kick-started from Finotel Junction, Aguoka, where shanties along the old Enugu-Onitsha road were removed, and continued up to Amansi End, where illegal structures built as residential and business premises along the buffer area between the Enugu-Onitsha Expressway and the old road were also pulled down. The team further advanced to Club Road, Oka, formerly known as Abakaliki Street, where it removed shanties and structures built under the high-tension cables, after which it proceeded to pull down a building under construction at Obobankwa Junction along Zix Avenue, Oka, that did not conform to standards. On all the structures demolished were clearly marked and ordered by the ACTDA to remove, bearing several dates, with the latest being 11th of June 2018. Speaking during the exercise, the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the ACTDA, Venerable Amechi Okwosa, who reminded developers that there is an existing federal law against building under high-tension cables due to radiation and other hazards associated with it. Also added that the state is presently faced with a lot of environmental challenges because people block water channels as well as build on it. Noting that the present administration of Governor Willie Obiano does not condone illegality of any kind, Venerable Okwosa said what the agency aims to achieve by the exercise is to keep the Anambra safe by bringing begging residents of the state to conform with safety standards. The ACTDA boss who emphasized that Governor Obiano has a noble intention to make the state capital the best in the country, called on developers trooping into the state in their numbers due to the secure environment to seek professional advice and direction from relevant authorities before building.
Governor of Anambra State, Chief Dr. Willie Anambra Obiano, has a noble goal in this state to make this state to be the best. And Awka Capital Territory is geared towards making itself the best in the entire federation. So what we are doing exactly now is to keep this Awka Capital Territory to have the looks, the aesthetic value, and have that impact on the people to project that Awka Capital Territory as the best, and to make sure that people build according to plan, and to make sure that visitors will see this particular capital territory as a place that is the best for people to dwell in without fear, because most of these shanties could be a harbor for kidnappers.
A resident at Club Road, Mr. Chukwunenyo Okeke, acknowledged that due to the present administration's efforts, the street had developed to become a business hub of sorts in the state capital, with activities going on night and day, and appealed to government to support the displaced business operators by securing them other alternatives to relocate their businesses.
Only place no. So, and the people, many people now survive in this place. So, government like all those people who name business along this area. One place. One place. So I'm going whenever they're under the high tension. The business. Because now other make the same some of things. Before them where they go, you just another place again locate.
For a generator mechanic whose container was affected by the demolition, Mr. Christopher Ezedibo, government should come to his aid, as his shop was neither marked for removal nor situates under the high tension.
I want to appeal to the governor so that let him look into this thing very well. People stay in container is because they cannot afford to pay block shop. To pay a block shop here is more than 250,000 a year.
Good morning, Anambra. We're talking sustainable environment in Anambra State, and with us in the studio is still the General Manager, Anambra State Physical Planning Board, Mr. Victor Okpoko. Mr. Victor, you've seen the clips we've watched. I don't know. I would like you to comment on that news before we move on.
All in the bid of sustaining the environment. So tell us more.
Thank you. All right, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, like I said, well, thank you, AGK. Like I said, the one you saw, the clip you saw, is done by our sister organization. They're in charge of Oka, while we're in charge of the whole of Anambra. We have done similar things. You have looked at it. Those shanties, they don't have any approvals. Majority of them, where you have criminals, they come in the evening, and we need to remove them. And now, like, there's another one that is going to come up on 1st of August. Now, this issue of people claiming we don't give notices and the rest of, there's a place, Marine in Onisha. If you're driving,
already I've heard that.
That's right. If you're driving, if you want to go into Akpaka Forest, there's 3-3. There's Marine at Onisha. Now we have served them. Our service have even expired. We went there again. We placed a billboard, and then we gave them reminder. And they removed that billboard. You understand? And, well, if they are listening, we're asking them. That thing is very close to River Niger. Very close to River Niger. And then on our website, His Excellency wants to turn it into a tourist center.
Right, okay.
People should not live there. If they are listening to me now, we have gone there severally. We have pleaded with them. We don't want to use dozers to pull down anything. But then, by 1st of August, if they are still there, our dozers will move in.
Okay.
And I don't know, are you relocating them? Is there anything government is doing to help? Because I don't know if most of them may be feeling we don't have any other place to go to. Is there anything government is doing at this time?
The Ministry of Land, by the time we went there, we went with the Commissioner for Lands and the Ministry of Lands officials, and they were asked to come, and because you can't just stay there and government will help you. I mean, if you want God to help you, you have to make the first move.
Okay.
So we have advised them to go to the Ministry of Lands. They will give them alternative allocation.
Okay, let's talk about sustainability and collaboration. Has there been any time Anambra State government has collaborated with an international organization to create a sustainable environment in the state?
Yes, that's right. Anambra State government collaborated with the UN Habitat. That is why we have 3 structure plans. We have a structure plan for Oka. We have a structure plan for Oka and Oka, Newe, and Onitsha. That was a collaboration with UN Habitat based in Kenya. So there's a whole lot of collaboration.
How has it been? Progressive?
Yeah, that is what as a matter of fact, it's actually those structure plans that we are trying to implement bit by bit. Okay. We're taking it easy.
All right, in case you're watching, you can still call us to ask questions concerning the plans you have about building in Anambra State. It's no longer business as usual. You've got to do the right things to make our environment what it should be. And moving on, let me take you back a little to what was said in that news, that some of these structures were not conforming, to standards. And I would like to ask at this point, whose responsibility it is to ensure that people building, that the building are conforming to standards?
Yeah, it is. We are a regulatory agency. The onus lies. We have standard. What I've just given you contains our standard. Like I said, if you come with your plan, we'll get it approved and we'll give you this. Okay, Capital Territory will give you this. The fiscal plan will give you that. It contains everything you want to do. So the onus lies on the owner. We have enforcement officers. Apart from this, there is what is called Anambra State Material Testing Lab, established by His Excellency. To test your materials. You understand? Everybody, there are about 3 agencies in this construction industry. Okay. The onus lies on the owner of the building to make sure he conforms. And we don't just, our approval is a process. It's not a one-off thing. By the time we approve, we even give you stages for what we call stages form. By the time before you do your foundation, you're supposed to get us, inform us. We'll come there and see what you are doing. The material testing lab will come and test your concrete mixture and the rest of them. What the problem we have with our people is that everybody appears to be in a hurry. Everybody appears to be in a hurry. And about 6 o'clock, they have started missing concrete. Civil service starts around 8 o'clock.
And at the end of the day, this actually leads to
collapse.
But then again, what's the board doing? Because if you say yes, that you leave it for the owner of the stuff to make sure.
We enforce as much as we can. We go every day. Like I said, as I'm talking here, our people are everywhere in the state. Okay. But our people are everywhere in the state. We enforce these things. And I want to thank His Excellency because previously, this is our law. Everything appears to be if there is any collapse, they will hold the general manager. But then this governor came and made an amendment to the law. If there's any collapse now, the first person to hold is the owner of that building.
Okay.
That's right. And that's why,
all right, that is, what's your last point? Your last word to the people before we go on the show?
My last word is to appeal to people of Anambra State. We have a compassionate government. The government, the present government now, Chief Willie Obiano, is a compassionate government. He has provided Anambra State Material Testing Lab. You can test your building materials. There is Anambra State Fiscal Planning Board. He has emboldened us, given us a lot of things to work. There's this Oka Capital Territory, and very soon there could be Onitsha, because in politics they say every politics is local. Right. The same thing with the environment. Every environment is also local. So His Excellency, His Excellency has even.
All right, I think that's the much you can take. That's the much time could allow us take on the show this morning.
Thank you.
Would like to appreciate you so much, Mr. Victor Okpoko, the General Manager, Anambra State Physical Planning Board. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
All right, many thanks for joining us on the program, and we hope that when we call you next, you would oblige us.
Yes, I'm happy
well,
to
that's
be here.
it. You've actually heard it from the man himself. Whatever you want to do on lands you're building, be very careful, Maka. You get the one where you go build. Once you build it, you are in trouble. They will pull it down. At the end of the day, your money has gone. So do what is right, and of course, let's live right. Let's wait until next segment. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
All right.